You're listening to Australia's national youth radio station, Triple J. For more info, go to triplej.net.au.
Welcome to Sunday Night Safran. In-depth discussions on religion, politics and hoochies on Triple J.
Father Bob Maguire.
Yes, sport.
He's on the show tonight.
On the show tonight, you spring it on me like that, is Jim Hollingsworth.
From Grace Note.
Yes, the bloke that you're fighting with over
Because
a
when
Raspberry
cordial CD, if you put your Raspberry Cordial CD in your computer, and then
what happens?
the song, you see, the song titles come up.
Yes.
And the genre description.
Yes.
Because there's like this international database.
Yeah, like for kiddies or something. What comes up, the genre description for yours?
Alternative, when clearly Raspberry Cordial is gangster rap, or at least underground hip-hop. So I'm going to be talking to him about this strange Grace Note organisation that presumes to place genres on CDs that you chuck in the...
That's not a fair and reasonable thing.
I think it's too arbitrary. I want to know if you can protest. We also have...
You've also got the famous Andrew Bolt.
Oh, you are in... Everyone's so scared here of him.
I'm
at ABC.
Delighted to be able to say that I read Andrew Bolt every day, that he makes it into the Sun Herald.
Herald Sun.
Herald Sun. I do, really. And
you're reading it backwards.
I wish
You've
Andrew...
just been exposed yourself as Jewish because you read backwards because you think it's Hebrew, and therefore you think it's the Sun Herald, not the Herald Sun.
Sleeper! I'm a sleeping Hebrew! Anyway, Andrew's coming in to put us all right on dual citizenship and things.
And
we've
also
also
got Kylie Boltin, our documentary reviewer. She's going to be talking about... and she'll be talking about Werner Herzog. Father Bob, are you scared of Andrew Bolt? I couldn't help but notice when he was on Speaking in Tongues, the televisual show you were in.
I'm a bit nervous.
You just sat there with your arms crossed,
Well, I don't want to get
intimidated.
mentioned in the Bolt column.
I know, because if you mentioned, it's like...
I'm gone. As sure as God,
and
my
he's
little
always
apples.
looking... He has to have like 2 targets a week, every week.
Yeah, but I mean,
he's always sniffing around.
Well, you never get mentioned.
He went Jay and the Doctor on. You see, it's so unfair. Other Triple J people have got the Bolt treatment, but why not me?
No. Well, Andrew may well have decided we're just a couple of clowns.
No, I reckon you could still go down because you're quite. You do things like go to union rallies and stuff.
Don't, he mightn't have caught up with that, for God's sake.
But you see, you do things like that which are just
compromising things.
Yeah, worthy of a Bolt slam down.
Well,
it could be you.
We'll see.
The Bolt page is fantastic because you know, I used to try to email it to like friends in other states, but it's not the same when it's on the computer because it's art directed differently. Yeah. When it's sitting there in the Herald Sun, you got the Bolt picture in the top right hand corner, headline, and then in the middle you've got the photo of the person that he's taking down that particular day. And I will be looking forward very much so to the time I open it up.
All your friends get Andrew Bolt for breakfast.
When I open it up and I see a high res photo, I might send him a high res photo of your noggin.
Don't put me in the paper. I'm in enough trouble as it is.
We'll be talking about that trouble after this. Thank you, Father Bob. This is Triple J. I'm John Safran. We've got to learn how to hum copyright-free songs.
Do we?
Because they're not allowed to put the songs on the podcast. And I listened to our podcast for the first time ever last week. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
No good?
Well, it's like wall to wall. Just if you take the songs out, can you imagine like just listening to you and me?
No, I can't.
For like 1.5 hours straight.
Well, I thought last
But you see, what happens is, because they can't put the songs up because it's copyright problem, but if you hum a copyright-free song or a public domain song, so if you sing one of those, your...
Credo in unum Deum. See, I can sing that endlessly.
Yeah, do about 20 seconds of that, right?
La da 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 da. Now this goes too high. The next bit I have to drop an octave. La da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Okay, that's enough. So maybe
I've got to stretch it at the end.
Sorry.
Da. and fade. See?
Ad lib till fade.
Yeah, would you like that endlessly?
No, I'm saying if you do that every 20 minutes, it'll help the podcast people because they don't get an interruption from us
we could
banter.
have little performances, individual performances.
Yes, but don't do no copyrighted material. Like you can't don't sing Thriller.
No, I was going to... Well, I'd like to sing...
And don't do You Can't Touch This because that's really... Because we'd have to source copyright from MC Hammer.
I'd like to do Pulp
and also
Fiction.
Rick James. What?
I'd like to do Pulp Fiction theme music.
No.
No?
No.
Blade?
What?
Why can't I do all of those? Or Mr. Kaufman's Poultrygeist?
Oh, you've gone mad. Now, you said you were in trouble before.
I'm not in trouble. I didn't say. I said I would get into more trouble.
Well, thanks.
I'm perfectly all right.
Well, thanks for that conversational cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Now, you said you want to talk about Selma Hayek.
I want to talk about this Mexican film actress who, I mean, yous were laughing and joking and they go, listeners, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, and everybody else. And the old man sitting on the side saying, what the...
Because you didn't know who Selma Hayek was.
No. I didn't know who Selma Hayek was.
Just a bit of a refresher.
I've got it here.
Well, but can we give a refresher for people who weren't listening? I spoke a few weeks ago about when I was in LA that I went to Selma Hayek's penthouse party. And if anyone doubted me, if anyone thought, I just made up that story, go to, because someone from the guest book sent us a link. If you go to instyle.com and follow the links, it's got the aforementioned party. And all the detail I mentioned is mentioned here. So it would have been fairly complicated for me to have, made it up, if you know what I mean. Does that make any sense?
No. Oh, well, it wasn't made up.
No.
It wasn't made up. It was...
And remember how it was is it Donna Kebab or Dolce Gabbana or
whatever?
All
of that.
Yeah. It was Dolce and Gabbana honours Selma Hayek and the Selma Hayek Foundation, whose mission is to prevent violence against women everywhere, according to InStyle.
Are you sure it wasn't Antonio Banderas?
Anyway, what the hell do you want to talk about Selma Hayek?
Because I just wanted to know. I didn't realise that you were talking about a woman who was a Mexican to a Lebanese father and a Mexican mother. Raised in a wealthy, devoutly Catholic family. She was sent to the Sacred Heart. Look at this, it's full of religion. She was an accomplished gymnast. So I presume during that party, she was doing... Was she?
Calisthenics.
Yeah, throughout
the ribbons.
Throughout the room. She went to Mexico, but at the age of 23, I just don't know, I've never heard of her, but I mean, should I have at my age?
Yeah, she's sort of like him. She's not quite the most famous person in the world, but nearly... She's sort of one notch down from the Brad Pitts and Angelina Jolie.
So you went to a party at one notch down person's place?
Yeah, but if you look at the other people on the guest list, Christina Ricci, Misha Barton, Eva Longoria...
Are they the A-list?
A-minus list.
Ooh.
And I dragged down the mean... Is it the mean or the medium? I don't know.
Yeah, the mean will
I dragged down the mean. My E-list.
Yourself.
Yeah, dragged everyone else down.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Now, Father Bob.
Yeah.
Coming up
dated
next.
fellow actor Edward Norton for 4 years. Didn't you know that?
He's pretty small and pasty.
Oh, is he?
Because she kissed me, she kissed me on the cheek at the end, and I was just...
That was reported through ABC Radio.
And I just... I just thought, I don't... But now here she went out with someone else small and pasty.
No good?
I could have had an opportunity. Father Bob, coming up after this, from Grace Notes.
She's linked
Jim
with Jude Law.
Hollingsworth.
Did you know that?
Stop talk. Now, the guest book, the Triple J guest book, was all a flutter.
Yes, it was this week. I like
with
that.
People implying that whilst we're having... a conversation with the Lebanese Australian girl about the Lebanese conflict last week.
Yeah, there was something else going on.
That she was trying to hit on me during the interview.
I said to the person sitting next to me at the time.
Is it, I think, do I respect or not respect my audience that we can talk to about the Lebanese conflict and what they're thinking about is whether the two parties are hitting on each other? I don't know.
Do you think?
Dear John, your phone call to your... Lebanese friend seemed on the surface to be just another call. As it developed, however, it became clear that it was in fact a meta flirt. She wants you, John, and you totally ignored her and kept mumbling to Father Bob as she dropped the sexy farewell line.
I didn't hear that.
How callous.
Didn't hear it.
Yeah, that Kate girl said, I like you, John, just before she hung up. Kate likes John. And there's on and on it goes in the guest book.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we give her a call? We'll see.
And see what she did say at the end. God bless her heart and soul.
But if you add together Selma Hayek kissing me on the cheek, who's with the Lebanese father, and Kate Hannah.
God.
Hello, Kate speaking.
Hey, Kate, it's John. How are you? You're on the air. Be careful.
Okay.
How are you?
Well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Now, we got a bit of guest book reaction from our conversation last week.
Oh, really?
When we were talking about the Lebanese conflict and, of course, you know, your association being a Lebanese Australian. And it was a few people in the guest book were claiming that you were trying to hit on me during the during the conversation.
Yeah, it's true. I read it.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you tell them the truth, Johnny?
No, hang on. Let's hang up on her now.
Okay.
Anyway, good to speak to you. So you weren't trying to, hit on me?
Johnny, is that wishful thinking?
Oh, I see. It's all been turned around. I should have left it.
Thank you, Kate, because that's what
I should have left it when I was the winner.
You should have, John.
Well. Hey, I'll talk to you soon, Kate.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.
Should we ring, Oh, no, we won't ring my other friend. So, yeah, it looks like no action between me and Kate.
But can't we talk to... She's in Lebanon.
No, she's not in Lebanon.
Oh.
Why do you get so confused?
Well, probably because I want to be confused.
Hey, want to ring the other friend on that line we've got? I'm telling our producer to ring the other friend. This is my other Lebanese friend. Because she can actually give us
Nasrullah.
No. Monty, she can actually give us information because her family's over there. The suspense is getting... Hello, Monty, it's John. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Be careful, you're on the air, so don't...
Oh! What do you do that for?
Why? Why are you making that lie? Why are you making that? You know, because people like to be informed and educated and stuff about politics and stuff, and you can tell us.
But you just disturbed me. I'm just embroidering and listening to Elvis.
Really? Turn off the radio in the background. You should be listening to Triple J, if anything.
No.
Now, how's your sister and mum? They're over there?
Yes.
And what's the update?
Well, they're having an absolute ball because they're in the least likely area where any kind of bombs are going to explode.
Oh, really?
Yep.
But they only went there recently, didn't they?
Hey?
They only went there recently.
Yep. They went there probably, 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Well.
But are you saying they're safe because they're in, the south or somewhere? Or
No, they're in the north. They're like
far
in the mountains.
away.
Yep. They're in a place, very mountainous region, and it's like a very, very old provincial Lebanese lifestyle.
Because there was a woman in the Sun, Herald Sun this morning who said, I'm shocked and horrified because our family is in a part which in fact should be untouchable because it's the Christian part of, and I thought, I'm a bit nervous, I'm a bit frightened about that. As though there were parts that were untouchable. But, I mean, that's silly of me because you would want your family to be in a place that was untouchable.
Yeah, but
is it only untouchable because of distance?
Yeah, but what distance? It's the tiniest country on the globe.
Aha!
You know? It's so small, and so is Israel. I mean, they're the tiniest countries on the globe, and I don't know.
We've got Andrew Bolt coming in about half an hour, and he's going to be no doubt laying into your people for being half Lebanese, half Australian. What arguments should I come up with to fight him back?
Well, where's he from?
Well, he's Dutch.
He's Dutch.
Is he Dutch?
But he gave up his citizenship. He gave up his Dutch. Said, he got it taken away from him.
Yeah, but he was told he couldn't have it any longer because he wasn't in Dutchland long enough.
Dutchland?
Yeah, Holland.
Ah.
He wasn't there. He didn't.
Dutch everywhere?
Yeah.
Now, you're of course only half Lebanese because you're half Lebanese and half Iraqi.
That's right. The whole world loves me right now, don't they?
And you were the one who taught me. I never knew this, Bob. Did you know? Because you know how Iraq is an Arabic word, right? So it would be spelt in Arabic with the Arabic lettering. And then when it's in English, it's like phonetic. So in the olden days, if you look at old photos, like from, the 1940s, whenever Iraq was written, it was spelt with a K at the end. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
There you go.
I did. He's making it up.
I'm not making it up. You can
he's
research
true.
that, because Iraq used to be spelt with a K in English.
I think he might be right, actually.
I've seen it, in a couple of books, but I think they were just misspelling it, really.
Oh, really? Bogans.
Yeah, total bogans.
Yes.
Illiterate bogans.
Well, good to speak to you.
What about her politics?
Why do you have to... Her politics? Okay, what about your politics?
What about them?
Oh, look,
Which
I'm
ones?
just a dumb Aussie. I'm just trying to work it all out.
Which ones do you want to know about?
Oh, just all of them.
Well,
is there
ultimate
anything
politics-
anything you can help us with?
Yeah,
the dumb Aussies.
You just got to make sure inside inside yourself, you're the best person you can be every day, and it's a cliche, but make love, not war.
So forget
much
the
easier to make
politics.
Yeah, thanks Whitney Houston for that in-depth... I've always wondered what would happen on Lateline if instead of getting all those experts in, they got in Whitney Houston.
And Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
No, Whitney Houston lost it, remember?
Oh, that's right.
What,
Yeah.
she turned, did she?
Well, I think the pressure got the better of her.
Oh, poor devil.
You know what my favourite story about your sister is? The half Lebanese, third Lebanese, third Iraqi, third Australian.
Go on.
is when the last Iraq war was or whatever, and that journalist kind of jumped onto her because wanted her to be kind of like a
Yes.
representative of the Iraqi Australian community, and then
That's
just
right.
projected all her personal white Australian politics onto the poor Iraqi girl.
Yeah.
So it was
I know.
it was like they, taking photos of her looking tragic and sad and miserable, and she was just.
No.
Oh,
It
well.
was very funny because my sister loathes propaganda, and she loathes being objectified, and she's very, very shy.
It's so annoying when you're kind of because of your ethnicity, you're supposed to be more political than just, you're not allowed just to be some guy. No. So if you're an Aborigine, you can't just be some guy who likes going to see Adam Sandler films and then sort of going home and then cooking a meal or whatever. You have to be politicized.
I know.
Yeah, I guess if you're Iraqi, you'd have to be like that, according to some people.
Well,
Not us. We don't care that you're, that she's a apathetic bogan. We don't care. We don't care.
Well,
now,
how more apathetic can it get than embroidering felt hearts and listening to Elvis?
I know, it's outrageous.
Yeah.
Well,
Go out, get politicised. Don't you understand? You're an Arab Australian. You have an obligation. Go out there on the street with a flag.
I think I'm beyond any flag of any country. I think I'm just a soul that travels upon this earth in human form.
Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda?
That's on you. See,
that was even
this
too
woman
li-
is ageless.
That was even
This
too-
woman, who have you rung up?
That was even too ethereal and lightweight for Whitney Houston.
Oh, no, I
That's
like
something
that.
else. That's
Okay.
who's that
Thanks.
woman who's saying if God was one of us, just a slob? That was like her.
Diana
What
Durbin.
if God was
There, look
one
at
of
this.
us?
Hey, you're not allowed to sing because you can't make it to the podcast because it's copyright infringing.
Okay.
Okay,
Good
well,
on you,
good to
mate.
speak to you.
Yeah, you too.
Wish your family the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Salam.
Everyone's freaking out because they've seen him in the corridors. Andrew Bolt.
Mr. Bolt.
Walking up and down.
Yes,
Everyone's
I saw people scurrying.
all the pinkos. All the left-wing pinkos
Exactly.
that make up this...
This whole studio and indeed the whole
whole
of the
ABC.
broadcasting. Yes.
They're running under their desks.
Yes. You and I are not, because you and I are unafraid, because we've got nothing to hide.
I've got a few things to hide.
Oh.
If the worst thing you had ever done
Yes.
was printed on the front page of the Herald Sun or Sun Herald,
whatever. Yeah.
would
What would it
your
be?
life be screwed?
No.
You see, you're already in a better position than me.
No, but you probably, are over-exaggerating your worst peccadillo.
Peccadillo?
Yeah.
What do you know about my peccadillos?
I know nothing about you. I'm saying if you're going to have one on the front page of the Herald Sun,
Yes.
the Sun Herald or whatever it is,
I'd be chased out of town.
would you? Oh, I didn't know that.
I'd lose my home. Maybe
Your oven?
My oven. Now, Father Bob, I think later in the show we're going to go through books about the conflict. Because people were writing on their guest book, they were saying, John, inform us. You're an educated person.
About the conflict in
the Middle East.
Oh, good. I just happened to... You said shut your mouth because we... And now, because the guest book says we're going to talk about it, we are. The power of the bloody guest book, isn't it? Just because they said that woman said that she loved you at the end of that interview. I know now a couple of things about you.
Like what?
Well, like this, every time something about love or romance comes in, I mean, the whole atmosphere in the studio changes. It smells of roses now.
Father Bob, we have Andrew Bolt coming in the studio.
We stand up or
now.
what?
Yes,
right.
Salute.
We stand up. What about have you got a drum roll or something?
Thank you, Father Bob. This is
See
Triple
what
J.
they're asking me to do?
In the studio, we have the only man I've ever seen able to put the fear into Father Bob, Andrew Bolt. When you were on Speaking in Tongues, he just sat there, cross-armed, in the corner, like in the fetal position almost.
Oh, you didn't do much better yourself.
Yeah, no. But I'm
I tried to
easily...
have an argument with you and you...
I just
wouldn't have become
retreated.
involved.
I'm really
Coward.
bad. I'm really bad at like...
Confrontation.
Like interviews, which is like a bit of a problem considering my... Because I get tricked. Whatever the person says, I kind of agree with, no matter what they say. If they say it in a vaguely kind of convincing way.
How malleable you are.
Very malleable.
Well, I think it's some... you tend to think Australians know how to mix it,
yes.
right? That we've got this image of, go in there and speak your mind.
Yeah.
But don't you find it odd that I don't think we've got a tradition of arguing. And by arguing, I don't mean abuse.
I agree with you. Woohoo! What a gag! Didn't see that one coming.
The Jewish argument. They argue all the time amongst themselves as an expression of their religiosity.
Yeah, behind closed doors.
But the Aussies used to argue amongst themselves in the 20s and 30s when the Irish versus the Commonwealth of the Empire and all that was on. We had debating classes. Roman Catholics were taught to debate.
Oh, Catholics have got a tradition of teaching.
See what I mean?
Yeah,
but I think it's on the blink now.
Well, I tell you what, if the great book of political speeches gets published, where people are actually arguing against each other, the entry for Australia will be blank. I can't think of one great exchange. Can you?
Billy Hughes and Dan Mannix.
Not all of us are...
okay, I'll have a fight with you. I'll have a fight with you. I'll have a fight with you over one of your issues, because this is the only place this fight would happen.
This is the first I've ever had with
Victoria
you,
Hannah, the Arab Jewish singer. She's like sold one CD in Australia to me. Yet somehow you've managed to put her in your columns like 3 times.
I can't even remember. Isn't that terrible? I can't even remember. When I go to functions and, you sit at the big round table, table number 17.
Yes.
I always am really worried because I've got a terrible memory and I can't remember which of the people at the table I've insulted.
Ah, yes.
I did go to one where I knew that I insulted 3 of the 10 there, but I couldn't remember the other 7.
And do people take in their stride? Do they get happy? I happen to know.
Why would you be happy?
Well, I don't know how to break this to you, but when you went Frenzal Rom, they're an Australian band that you once went, and who...
I do remember that one.
And 2 of the guys are DJs here at Triple J. They really liked it.
Yeah, you can imagine because they sold them CDs.
Oh, not even on that level. They just liked it. They were just giggling.
I'm noticed.
Yes, no. So how do you do that? You're going to have to do some bizarre reverse psychology to break people like that.
Well, it's very primitive what I do. So I get invited to come and see shows.
Yes.
Or reviews things that people are absolutely sure that I'll hate.
Yes.
And I think they'll sell tickets at the back of it. So I'll wait until the run's over. Then I'll review it.
Smart.
Very mean person.
No, but the thing is, look, some people will say that is mean, that's just proof that I'm mean. But if you look at it from my point of view, and I don't advise you to, but if you do, I actually think what I'm doing, I do it because I think there's a moral imperative. And if I really do think that something is a manifestation of something that's wrong and should be combated, then why would I promote it? You see, so it's not that. It is deadly serious for me.
Do you know my 2 favourite Andrew Bolt columns ever?
The one where I said John Safran was great?
No, was it? No, my two favourite, Andrew, one's like political, one's personal. The political one was when you went Finding Nemo. Mm-hmm. Because it was great to open the newspaper and because like the art direction, it's you in the top right-hand corner, then target in the centre of the page, and instead of Osama bin Laden or al-Zarqawi, there's a shark. Nemo the clownfish. and you somehow managed to get a page out of going Finding Nemo.
Well, it's interesting because what I find... some people think don't take. Yeah, well, I said embedded in this movie, and I quoted the filmmakers. They said they did it quite deliberately. Were certain messages, and people thought how terrible that I should see these messages in an innocent kids' film, but they were actually put in there, and the people who made the film said we put them in there, and I think it's quite legitimate. I mean, if there's a film that the left object to, they don't hesitate to do postmodernist analysis and pull it apart and the view of the author and all this. They don't mind exploring the text then, do they? But when it's a sweet little kids film that has a message of its own, well, then we mustn't because we actually like that message.
Now I remember what you were like on Speaking in Tongues, which was like I had to like really edit around because you like ending your sentences with don't you and don't they? So then I end up just naturally, instinctively, I instinctively just go yes, and then I'm like, oh my god, and then we're down in the edit suite, kind of cutting it out.
Oh, John, I mean, where is this Jewish tradition of really having a go? Come on, I'm sitting here.
Do you know my other? I said I like two Andrew Bocklons. The other one that I really liked was when you talked about your band. That why don't you have more ones like that? Your teenage band, where your music teacher, she was a transsexual,
transsexual. Well, the reason I don't is because I have an uneventful life. There's only so much you can mine from it in 6 years.
So what instruments did you play in this band?
Well, look, I had a band. This was really interesting because, the hip thing to think about Australia is racist, right? And that it's...
See, I said yes then, but I didn't mean it.
You did.
But it's true. I mean, how can you deny it? I mean, it's racist, blah, blah. I mean, French or wrong, but I mean, that was one of the things I had to go at them, racist. But anyway, it's so different, that image of Australia, to the one I think most of us have probably actually lived in. I'm sure you too, Father Bob. But my story there was in Murray Bridge in Tailem Bend, which is one of the places I lived at. So Tailem Bend's just a railway siding, kind of thing. So real country. And we picked up a dance band. We just started. We were just kids. And this a woman, a good Christian woman, the mother of two of the members in the band, realised that I'd only been learning the drums for a month, so I needed a bit of help, and got in someone who was a transsexual. Now, a transsexual in Murray Bridge, 25 years ago, that's a tough gig. And I just thought for a Christian woman, a CWA kind of person, to single out this woman to help us, and for her to help us, and for us to just simply wonder why she spoke in a deep voice, but that's about it, and hit her chin with her hand. I just think that's fantastic, and the kind of places we played in were fundraisers, and you had the honour boards about honouring people that have made a contribution to the community. And I think people lose sight of that real Australia. It is a bloody good country, really, at heart. Now, there are things wrong with it. I think perhaps a few things more wrong with it now than were there 20, 30, 40 years ago. But you can't damn the whole country. It's just not helpful, it's not fair, it's not right.
Bob,
dual citizenship.
Do you agree?
I agree 100%, both with you, Andrew, and also with you who is about to fight with him.
No, I'm not fighting
He's not
with
going
him.
to fight with
No,
you.
I'm only interested in that bit because I get confused, am I a Catholic first or an Australian? Because they keep telling us that this is a global family of Catholicism. You see what I mean?
Yep.
And also because of IT&C, this is a global village. We're all citizens of the world first, and Australians second. But you said on Friday that it was Australian first, which is my natural instinct.
No. It's slightly different because I don't think there's a real clash between being a good Catholic. I'm not a Christian myself, but being a good Catholic and being an Australian. I'd see where the clash is. But speaking just on terms of nationality, there can be a clash. And it's a really integrated world. I mean, fancy this, Bob, that we have in Lebanon 25,000 Australians living there, most of them with dual nationality. 7,000 of them have asked to be taken out by the government. 7,000. These are huge numbers. The Greek Navy has a request from France, I just saw today, to take out 25,000. 25,000 Frenchmen living in Lebanon with dual nationality. Now, these are enormous numbers, and it raises the whole question in this integrated world where people, how do we generate loyalty? Because without loyalty, you get a London bombing, for example, where one section of the public is literally at war with the other.
But do you know the numbers for other dual nationalities, like people who are Australian plus from the UK?
I think that would be high too, but while that is an issue, of course, the chances of those loyalties clashing in a significant way, that someone says, well, I'm actually more British than English, than Australian, and therefore X, I don't think that's really going to manifest itself anywhere else other than perhaps, cheering at the Ashes. But increasingly, there are, like our intervention in Iraq, or whether we side, and I think we do tend to side with Israel in this clash with Hezbollah, these are serious issues and
now
involving real
you
clashes.
mentioned the cricket and brushed that aside as if that's no big deal, but you went the Australian-Italian community for supporting Italy over the Socceroos.
That's a slight misreading of what I said. I am worried what it is about Australia that we have failed to capture the primary loyalty of people born right here. And as I have said endlessly, in just capturing the fact that so many Italians celebrated the loss of Australia to Italy, but when I say Italians, they're Australians, born right here, indicates, one, that clash of loyalties, that the fact that we are not primary in the loyalty there, but two, not every conflict of loyalty involves only sport, or just Italians, or just Greeks. And I say that again and again and again, and it's a manifestation of a wider clash of conflict. We live in a world where great populations are on the move, where you've got multiculturalism, where you've got easy access, so people do. 25,000 Australians of Lebanese descent now live in Lebanon, and people can maintain a community here in a way that when my parents came out from Holland, you couldn't. My parents couldn't afford to go back to Holland for decades.
Now, you were a dual citizen, were you not?
Yeah, I was a Dutch dual national.
And what happened? You got it pulled away from you as opposed to voluntarily
giving I just turned up to I was travelling in a Dutch and my Australian passport as an Asia correspondent, and I went to the Dutch consulate in Hong Kong and said, my Dutch passport's full, can I have a new one? And this woman who's Chinese, born in China, spoke better Dutch than I did, said, you're not a Dutch citizen. She was. You're not, and took it off me, because I hadn't lived enough years in Holland over a certain period. And I just wonder whether that rule isn't something that we should consider too.
Because Bob, before you were in here, because he was saying that because you had that traumatic experience of having
it wasn't traumatic.
That
now I think no one should have it. If I can't have it, no one should have it. Well, look, I've had to think whether that was driving me in part, a sort of, if it's not good enough for me, then it shouldn't be good enough for anyone. But it's more a different way, Bob, that I had to honestly confront the fact that I did have divided loyalties, that I always could imagine myself this as sort of, Dutch, sort of apart from Australia. And I actually know that there is a pull, and it's sort of like, it's not an analogy with loving all your children equally. It's more like trying to love two women the same, and I don't know if that's humanly possible or leads to very healthy results.
In one of your recent columns, you mentioned, as a negative almost, about how people from a certain ethnic community marry within that own community. Like it's quite a high rate of marriage. Why is that a problem? Should I not marry a Jew because I have a responsibility to Australia to...
Oh, you can marry whomever you like. In all of this, you've got to make a distinction between what I'm saying. I'm not saying that therefore you shouldn't intermarry or that group shouldn't cheer for Italy.
Yep.
What I'm really saying is, what are the cultural forces that encourage people to do one rather than the other when the other might be actually healthier? I think intermarriage is healthier. If we start to see, we break down the ethnic ghettos, the ethnic stereotypes, stop seeing people as, that person's an Arab or that person's a Christian or that, and just judge them as individials, as I'm sure you would like to too, wouldn't you?
No, I'd like
but
to.
I mean, that's
I'd like
what
to marry
I'm doing.
a Eurasian. Yeah, no, it's true.
It just drives me nuts that we get community representatives. I'm the Syrian community representative. You don't represent Syria. it's like when a Dutch representative gets up. I'm the Dutch representative. He doesn't represent my family because we're assimilated. Yeah. So he only represents a certain unassimilated blob, and probably most of them didn't vote for him either. And I think that's wrong.
Isn't it hard to kind of place these rules down like it because it's all so muddy?
Yeah, look.
Identity and stuff. So it's as simple as you shouldn't break the law and...
I don't think there should be... I'm not talking about rules. I repeat what I said before. It's just what cultural sort of hints and nudges we give to people. They can do what they like. They can have their, Zambian representative community and Mozambique dance troupe. That's up to them, fine. But what is the government's role in that? And I think if you look at... Is it the government's role to foster divisions, keep people apart, fund people, give them more money if they stay apart than they would if they integrate? Or is it the government's role to concentrate on those things that unite us so that those things that divide us, which is up to us to have, those things that divide us are trivial?
Now, doesn't this routine... aren't you in the wrong city for doing this routine?
Probably. It should be in Sydney. I think it's a far more torn community.
But like Melbourne's just so multicultural and does all those things that sort of annoy you, and yet it seems to work. Like, we're quite PC. We go out of our way to fund little ethnic things here and there, and we sponsor murals and stuff. And it seems to, like, is there some, like, race war going on in Melbourne I don't know about?
I think the problem is much worse in Sydney.
Yes.
And if you have a look, they have had race wars. They've had the Cronulla stuff. They had conflict over Bondi Beach. They've had Redfern riots.
But if multiculturalism's bad, why is it working in Melbourne?
Well, they're different. Well, there are a number of reasons for that. But just going back to Melbourne, people in our class, the teacher-preacher class, the urban class, we're upper middle class.
I've got a feeling the expression latte sipping's about to come
out. I enjoy latte, so yes, latte sipping. But the point is, we don't see a lot of Melbourne that a lot of people who live there do. And for you to say it's all calm and peaceful, where you're sitting, it is, I'm sure. You can afford it for it to be calm and peaceful and live in places where it's calm and peaceful. Yes. But there are certain suburbs where it's not.
Do you know what's interesting? I reckon you should write a column about this. Is how people in Brunswick Street like to think of themselves, like we like to think in Melbourne that we're really multicultural, and Brunswick Street's almost like the epitome of this, of cosmopolitan life. Brunswick Street actually is divided in two. You've got the latte sitting set down there, and you've got these housing commission flats up one end with the Somalian people. Or Somalians, Australian, and you're never in a cafe in Brunswick Street where the some African Australians are there mingling it up with.
That's right. Well, there are social divisions. I mean, you have a look at what you actually are getting. You are getting Vietnamese gangs, and sometimes you see it when something outrageous happens, like the attack out in South Yarra where a couple of people died. Or you are getting Somalian gangs as well. You're getting those. Police are telling you that. You don't notice them. You don't never anywhere where they are. There are certain train lines where you wouldn't catch. You certainly wouldn't let your daughter catch a train after 9 o'clock. You just 8 o'clock. You just wouldn't. And there are signs of dislocation. Usually it takes a horrific incident for us finally to turn the rock and see what's under there. Like the Moe case, the Jaden Lesky case, for example, or the case of that poor toddler whose death still hasn't been explained in that Aboriginal community near Mildura or Swan Hill, wherever it was.
Bob, you're on the coal face.
Yeah, but I mean,
does this make? You see,
I'm not going to argue about what Andrew's always, broadly speaking, right. You see?
Look, I come to your station expecting an argument. It's not a Monty Python skit. I'm here for an argument. Can I get an argument?
I'm saying the devil is in the detail, you see. So my organisation, one of them, Open Family, works with street kids on the other side, Avondale Heights and all of those places, and you find lots of Somali people in trouble. If you're in Dandenong, you'd find people in trouble. Springvale, people in trouble.
Well, you do, and a lot of this is just too boring for the press to notice, because most of the press happen to live nowhere near those places.
But there's lots more mingling, I think, not juxtaposition at least, co-location in Melbourne than there is in Sydney.
Well, I think that's you know what I mean? I think that's right, and people move across suburbs much more. Yes. Sydney's more cut off, and there's more a ghetto mentality. We don't have a sort of ghetto like around the Kemba Mosque, for example. We don't have that, and we don't have a Redfern. Nothing
The
like
only
red
ghettos
flag.
we have are Jewish ghettos.
Yeah, but again,
But I mean, we take for granted that the Jewish people have got a monopoly on ghettoism.
Well,
Because
it's not quite a ghetto. There's an intermingling there more than in a red
Oh,
fern.
indeed.
And second,
Even that.
some peoples are more able to adapt, have a culture that's more simpatico with this one, and therefore don't represent. They can negotiate it much better. Look, here's John.
for himself.
But I can't believe no argument here. Conservative comes into your station and can't get an argument. And what's more, you got a microphone, a Jewish guy, a Catholic, and an agnostic.
And the operator of the panel is in fact Vietnamese.
What, Buddhist or nothing? What are you? Nothing. There you go. 4 people. We can't manufacture an argument between us. This is ridiculous. I told you. That was my opening statement.
What?
We have lost the ability to argue. You're just sitting here.
Well, I'm trying to tell. I
wrong with you?
personally reckon it's kind of
me
gilding
put-
the lily a bit, sort of like saying there's this bubbling kind of ethnic tension in Melbourne.
Here you go. You're going to flex your muscle.
Yes.
Do you
You
think
see
he's
that?
going to say something?
I never quite said that. Although, you do have ethnic conflicts at soccer games. We have actual punch-ups with police involved. So it's not quite right to say. And these are
I guess
little
so, but
warning
it's like saying
signs.
that there'd be no city in the world where there's not burglaries. So, you can always
I know,
find
I
something.
know. Sure. Well, you had a Kurdish protest outside the Greek embassy, which turned a little violent. And
Name a city. Okay, I'll put it this way: name a city in the world where there's less tension than Melbourne. Does that make a sense?
Race tension.
Yes.
Oh, let's have a look. Maybe Adelaide.
Okay.
But I'm just plucking something out of the air. But look, it's interesting. I've often thought with you, John. I've often thought with you. I suspect, coming from the Jewish perspective, you see things like the war on terror slightly differently, with more immediacy. You know more what it's about than others. And some things you've said in the past indicate to me that you've got a disposition to at least listen to the conservative point of view, and maybe secretly a closet conservative. I might out you here. I've often wondered why someone like you doesn't take it up, because these are really weighty issues. Serious things are on foot in the world, and I just often wonder why you don't use your undoubted talents and your media cred to do something.
Because he's an intellectual lightweight, that's why.
Is it that you... No, maybe I read you wrong.
No, I don't. But how do I manifest? Would I join the Liberal Party or something? Do I?
No, not at all. I haven't joined the Liberal Party. Why should you make that mistake? No.
So how do I become conservative? I'm happy. Bob, do you think I should become conservative?
I think you are conservative.
I'm not conservative. I'm too.
Let me ask: other issues that you've pulled back on that you think you would have liked to have gone on, but maybe your image would suffer if you did?
Oh no, I like winding up left-wing pinkos. I'm more like
he does. He's at that all the time. He's a strange combination.
Yeah, but Bob, don't you think the winding up that he does is winding up
what is facetious
those in the sense of don't be so serious without actually declaring where he's coming from?
Oh, true. I agree with that.
We'll
never know where Safran's coming from,
Mr. Safran.
But then he's only 33.
Do you? Well, that's true, you're so ferociously intelligent. You sort of forget that. But do you think you're holding yourself back there
by not becoming conservative?
No, I think you're trying to mock in order to avoid.
What?
No, you know what the question is.
I do know what the question. No, because
So you've got in front of you Alan Dershowitz's The Case for Israel.
But I've also got Anthony Lowenstein's.
Oh, my friend Anthony Lowenstein.
Yeah, well, you've got to know the enemy in order to ridicule him.
The Case Against Israel by Michael Newman.
So clearly these are issues that are... how come you don't get involved in those?
Because I'm Australian. And it's more important to me. I consider...
You can't be Jewish and Australian?
Well, I consider Arab Australians and Jewish Australians my... gang. And so if I was to get involved either one way or the other, I'm not being true to my Australianness.
Very good.
You think being Jewish is in conflict with being Australian? I'm asking.
No.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
Oh my God, how's this all turned on me? It's like some nightmare. Can we go to...
No, there's a big distinction between Israeli and Jewish. That's the distinction.
Why are you all like, oh my God, this is like some nightmare that I have to wake up to. I'm being attacked on live radio about my identity.
You're in charge.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
I don't even understand.
Now you know what I go through when I go on Insiders.
When you go on Insiders?
Yeah. It's difficult, isn't it? That's what I do. Look, this is why people... Look, I understand you're being reticent in this, and I understand why, and all this kind of stuff. But the thing is, when people say, like with writing columns...
Yes.
Why do you do it? It's just to, make trouble and all that. But the thing is, it's interesting, isn't it? When you actually state your position clearly... on an issue of importance, you are going to get hated. And there are some people that don't want that.
Okay, I've got an answer for you now.
What?
Why do you assume, because the way you express yourself and the way you express your ideas is the way everyone has to do it?
Why do you assume the same yourself?
Like, why don't I say to you, Andrew Bolt, you're dodging around. Why don't you come out and do a satirical television show, for God's sakes?
Well,
and until you do that, you're avoiding the issue, Andrew Bolt.
Well, no, I'm not avoiding... Well, I am avoiding the issue of making satirical things because I'm not funny. I mean, that's... Why would I go and do it?
He's always laughing at you behind your back.
But I laugh because you've got the right turn of phrase.
Well, look,
you probably are a satirist.
Well, I'd like to be. I'd like to be a little
because
funny.
Then there's more to the issue than just the straight reporting of an event.
Well, I think that's why I like John's work a fair bit, because
now we've got
he is a satirist. He is a satirist.
Don't tell the Triple J audience you like my work.
And
now it's all over.
You see, now there is the fear. I think there's a great fear of people seeming responsible, and I think it's just deadly. Now, I think we're sort of immature that way as a society. Yeah, look, stand up and be responsible, for God's sake.
I agree.
No, it's because of specific issues I have a problem with both the small L Liberal and also Conservative people on specific issues. For example, Mr. Bolt, I once spoke to you off air about the going into Iraq. And it seems quite clear that we're told one thing and then it didn't come to be about the weapons of mass destruction. And you argued around for like 45 minutes about how it wasn't a lie. And
I was only in your studio for 20. How could I argue for 45? Might it sound like 45?
Oh, no. You see, now you're avoiding the issue.
No. If there's one issue that I've not avoided, it's the Iraq War, including the weapons of mass destruction.
Yes.
But I just think that the way you put the argument is so dodging the real issues, and I'm sure you're intelligent enough to know it is. And I just think it's a way of avoiding them.
I don't know. I'm confused. This is why I'm not Liberal or Conservative, because when I just see dead bodies,
don't pin yourself,
it throws me off, and I can't stand it.
Of course they do, yeah.
So if I see...
Me too.
When I see Americans jumping off the World Trade Center building, it just disturbs me. And then when I see Lebanese people with their faces melting, it disturbs me. So
of course it would.
I don't know what
if it didn't.
I don't know what to make of it all.
Well, in all these things, because conservative is just one label, I'm also a humanist and a rationalist. And one of the things about being a humanist is I make lots of those judgments, and I might be wrong. I quite accept that. I'm in a debate, and I'm often told I'm wrong. I make it I weigh human life. If we do this, then so many human lives. And the quality of human life. And if we do this, another outcome. It's never no bodies versus dead bodies. It never is that. And that's what really ticks me off about a lot of people that are wanking around about how it was all peaceful under Saddam Hussein and it's only now that all these dead bodies are... That is just crap. And you know it's crap, and people should know it's crap and say it's crap. Because it wasn't. Under Saddam Hussein, it was the quiet of the grave. People were being quietly killed in their hundreds of thousands. And the left said bloody nothing, and it really ticks me off for people now to come and say, oh, look at these, almost gloat over every extra body because it sort of makes them feel right. And I think it's just so selfish, so stupid, so ill-informed, so irresponsible that, I get angry about it.
Oh, Bob?
Yeah, no,
have a fight with him.
Don't back off.
No, but I know. But the point you're making that there's no engagement in fierce intellectual combat. That is a terrible failing in a democracy.
Well, I think you're right.
Because without it, it's pitiful conservative monopoly.
Well, if you don't hear both sides of the argument, how can you be sure that you've tested your ideas? They actually even know both sides of the story. And I hate to say it, but the ABC, I'm sort of contradicting it by being here.
Thrown out,
I know, but the ABC has not had those debates. I think it's actually been improving over the last year, but it has not had enough of those debates. Like global warming, it almost never covers the fact that there is substantial disagreement on whether what are the causes of global warming and whether we can actually do anything about it.
We're going to
Andrew,
throw you out.
I'm going to have to crush your dissent
because
we have to wind it up. My God, we've never talked to
and you had to find a hot button issue that was just too much. The red light's on. That's it. There we go.
Now get out. I won't hear one more
sworn in
word.
church.
But we're very grateful.
Thank you very much, Andrew Bolt.
It was a pleasure, John.
Very
It was a
grateful.
pleasure, Bob.
Welcome to Sunday Night Safran. In-depth discussions on religion, politics and hoochies on Triple J.
God, I hate live radio, honestly. You know, like when I do my TV shows, we film like about 500 hours and we cut out everything, like all the awkward moments and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I apologise to the audience if Andrew Bolt talking about my...
But they ought to hear Andrew Bolt at length.
Yeah, but not talking about me. He can talk about himself. He can talk about you. Don't drag me into this. You know how much this makes me squirm having to talk about all that stuff?
No, you don't have to talk about it at all. You allowed him to show his real agenda.
Which is what? So you think he's what? You said the
I
F
say he's a
word.
very dangerous commentator.
Why?
Because he is so good with words. He's like Johnny Howard. He can talk to the majority of Australians in the way that they want to hear. And I'm just nervous that I feel there is a submerged reef of fascism. That's all. Submerged. You see what I mean? That's all I mean.
I just don't like how he was another... But my whole life is going around with people trying to trip me up,
I know.
thinking I've got secret agendas.
Yes.
Like I'm either
Yes.
I'm pro-Israel or I'm anti-Israel.
Well, I don't know how
I'm
you
not...
can get out of it. I can't for the life of me.
Everyone's
You'll have a nervous
everyone's
breakdown and drop
little
dead.
sneaky bits. They think there's some trick, like some agenda. When really I think
you're going to have to do what your interview.
I've said it before. I love everyone except for blacks and homosexuals.
Exactly. I think what you'll have to do is quilts and listen to Elvis.
Quilts and Elvis.
Like that woman that you rang up. You see? But I don't know what you're going to have a nervous breakdown.
No, shut up.
All right.
I don't want to talk to you.
All right.
Coming
you
up.
started talking
Shut up.
about it.
Shut up. I didn't like that last half hour. I want to
Yeah.
erase it from the record. I'm going to go back to the podcast. I'm going to go to the podcast one with my gun.
Do you
and tell
feel
her not to-
compromised?
I don't know. I've just got...
Violated?
I do. I do feel like Andrew Bolt, made, made love to
Took
me.
over.
Made love to me, but not in a pleasant way.
But took over.
I feel like a shower.
And you're not happy with me because I let him take over.
You were
And
there.
I'm
You were
older,
like...
and
I was like Jodie Foster
Yeah.
on the pinball machine in The Accused, and
Yeah.
you were like one of the bystanders. So sure, you're not directly responsible, but you could have done
But
something.
you were suspecting that I was getting joy out of watching you being violated. I mean, this is outrageous.
I don't want to talk anymore.
All right. Well,
can we
none
go
of
to a
us will
song?
talk anymore.
Coming up next, we have Kylie Boltin. I had drinks with a girl from Cyprus just this week. That's my segue.
Did you really?
No, but it's true.
But not in Cyprus.
No, not in Cyprus.
Have you
And
been to
don't-
Cyprus?
No, I haven't been to Cyprus.
You've
And
been to
don't mention
Cyprus?
that the Lebanese ships are now going to
Don't
Cyprus, because then
mention the war.
it'll be like we're just back into the same
Don't
thing.
mention the war, all right? We're over that. And now we've got Kylie Boltin, who is here, and we're going to talk
She's
about...
She's a professional documentarian,
Is it Werner or Werner?
I would say Werner.
and
My
she
German's
also
not
comes
great.
in every so often and does documentary reviews.
And I need to review a documentary filmmaker this week, more than just the movies.
Yeah,
It's Werner
It's Werner. Don't you think?
Herzog. Oh, no, don't mention that Herzog was one of the founding fathers of Israel, okay? No segues to Israel, okay?
All of this.
Okay, Werner Herzog. Tell us about Werner
Well,
Herzog.
it's a really good week for me to talk about Werner Herzog because he's one of my favourite documentary filmmakers. And also because I'm shooting and it's stressful, he's a really good person to look at if you're trying to get what you need in film because he got what he needed or he tried very hard. So he's a really good person to look at.
Now, of course, his most famous documentary...
of course is.
Probably Grizzly Man.
Yeah, it's his most recent one. So can we get there? Can we do something? Can we talk a little about who he is before we get there?
Yeah, for sure. I was just trying to hook the kids in, like the film they're most likely to have seen.
Absolutely.
That is his
Absolutely. So
Grizzly
be hooked.
Man.
Be hooked.
Be hooked, and now go on.
Okay, just because he's fascistic beyond comprehension. So I think he's a very interesting figure, as well as someone that we're looking at his films because they're interesting.
Fascist? He's a fascist.
No.
In terms of his art. He gets what he wants, okay? And as a filmmaker, I think that there's certainly an element of that, you could attest to this, that you need to do to get what you want.
Yes.
So he's kind of the father of that in the contemporary scene, certainly in documentary, I'd suggest. So and I think as well he started to make films in a time when duty of care was slightly different to what it might be now. And insurances and that kind of thing. So it's very cool to sort of have a look at that. And that's what we're going to in one of the films that we'll talk about. But I thought to start with, I should just talk about the first time I saw a Werner Herzog film because it was a religious experience.
Oh, is that nice? Which one?
It's called Huey's Sermon. And it's a 44-minute film made in 1980 for TV. And I saw it at Melbourne International Festival on a Sunday morning in the theatre, so it was like going to church, which was very cool. So the subject of that film is Reverend Huey, the real-life Cleophas James, who James Brown played in the Blues Brothers. Wow. And the film is a single-camera shot, which lasts for the entire length of the Reverend's sermon. And it's filmed in front of a live congregation in the Reverend's hometown in Brooklyn. And over the course of the film, Huey escalates into this kind of frenzy, in the middle of which, when he needs to change tapes or whatever, he intercuts with the exteriors of the environment that the congregation live in.
What year are we talking about for
1980. 1980. He's been making films for... he's made about 50 films over about
both
45.
documentary and non-documentary.
Absolutely. And documentaries about his non-documentary films. Okay, so Huey's Sermon is an experiential doc, like a really good music documentary. So it really kind of takes you in there. And it makes you sort of feel as if you're part of the congregation. So it takes you inside the environment and lets you sort of live it out in the same way that the congregation did, which I think is really interesting. And at the same time then, because you're inside that congregation, you feel slightly different about the environment, which is really poor and really derelict, because there's this kind of grandness attributed to the experience. It's very, very cool. I've got blank faces.
No, that's what I'm thinking. He'll say, shut your mouth, but I'm saying that's what Safran versus God was like.
Shut your mouth! Shut your mouth! No one's interested in some deconstruction about me. It's
not you. Comparison with...
Just go on. And don't talk about me.
The genre.
Okay. So
the genre.
Don't talk about me.
All right, so I just sort of think you then, as a viewer, you're living between these two worlds of being a viewer and being inside the film. So it's kind of naturally testing at those categories.
Does he have his great voiceover in that film?
I think so.
He's got the best voice for a voiceover.
He really does. And why do you think that is?
Because he talks like this. And then the bear came along and ate the man. So it's good.
Absolutely. Kind of eccentric. And it's really dry, don't you think?
Yes.
It's dry and droll, which I think is very good. And it changes over time as well. He's actually worked on his voice. I bet you he's gotten...
Oh, you reckon he's phony?
No, I don't think he's phony. I think, he's gotten older because he was born in 42. So his voice has changed. But I think that it was like he saw that it was working and he actually went out and really kind of tried to accentuate the voice and tease out the parts that make us stick in your head, like your voice.
Don't talk about me.
Who was the actor in that one that I saw?
Klaus Kinski.
Who was that actor?
He's a German actor extraordinaire who's in 5 films
What's
with
the
Herzog.
unbearable one we saw? Because I can... Grizzly Man, I reckon, is like one of the top films ever made, ever.
Oh, ever.
It's just so fantastic. But then I went off and I watched that other one with you. I don't know if I was distracted or something, but I found it, like, unbearable.
Yeah, yeah. Can I just ask, as an aside, did you see Grizzly Man in the cinema?
Yes.
I think it makes a difference. Not only, but I think that Herzog's films are really great in cinema because I think they don't necessarily try and hook you in as quickly as TV documentaries have to do now. And I think if we're watching a DVD and someone's online and someone else has got a phone call and whatever, it's really hard to get it and ruminate on the questions that he sort of
ruminate.
It is, because that's what I think he does.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing to use the word, perhaps. But
Have you seen Grizzly Man, Father Bob?
No, but
it's got it all. It's so there's nothing this film doesn't have.
He takes on the training of the bear.
A guy gets eaten by a bear.
Yeah, but doesn't this bloke train the bear?
No, he doesn't train them. He sees himself as saviour of the bears, and he sees himself, in a sense, as a potential martyr for the cause of the grizzly people.
Yeah, but then does he expect to be executed by the bear?
No.
He expects to mutate into a bear.
Truly.
That's what he thought. So again, blurring those boundaries between human and animal.
Grizzly Man is just when you think everything's been played out, like you've just found out everything bizarre about this guy. He throws something new in your face. So it's about an hour, 20 minutes into it. Yeah. And then suddenly you find out that one of the reasons he was such a manic character and so sad was because he'd auditioned for the part of Woody in Cheers, and he was second. He was knocked back. He was apparently the next guy. If Woody Harrelson hadn't have got the part, he would have got the part. And so that's one of the things that drove him sort of like onto this island to be with these. Who saw that coming at the 1 hour 20 minute mark?
I couldn't have imagined that.
It's just bizarre, and the whole film's like that. It just messes with your head. It's great.
Great.
4 and 7/8 stars.
Yeah, I like that.
Out of 5.
He sorted through 100 hours of tape because Timothy Treadwell took in 2 cameras and shot himself consecutively over 5 summers. He'd been there for 13 summers in a row.
Because this is, I guess we should explain it to the audience. There's the man who gets eaten by the bear. He has shot all this footage himself. Yes. And then he gets eaten by the bear. Then Werner Herzog comes after the chomping up. And then structures a documentary using both the footage that the man has taken plus new footage where he goes to his former girlfriends and stuff like that.
But he doesn't get mixed up with a bear.
No, he doesn't get eaten by a bear.
No, he goes to the same location. I think that's something that Werner Herzog does in terms of recreations that didn't necessarily work as well for Little Dieter Wants to Fly, which is the movie that we saw during the week on DVD, which I think there was something really interesting about that film. You know, it was essentially a war story. It was essentially a war story.
Huh?
I know, but what am I supposed to do?
Blank story.
It was essentially the story of a German guy who went to Vietnam and wanted to, he was telling his story. He always wanted to fly, that's how he went to Vietnam. But what Werner Herzog does, instead of just having him tell the story, which is a large part of it, he takes him back to Vietnam, gets people to recreate the Viet Cong and kind of ties him up and puts him in that position and then makes him go through the same kind of actions, which in itself is it's a big call to take someone into that environment. What's to say it's not going to be a deer hunter or something, you know? So there is that kind of fact or fiction element to Werner Herzog, I think. And he did the same thing with Grizzly Man, going into that environment, getting the person that rode the chopper to take Timothy Treadwell and his girlfriend out to the nature or to the reserve. He had 100 hours of footage that he went through, which is part of what he does is he just takes chaos and then compartmentalises it into art, which I think you kind of have to do when you're making documentaries. And this girlfriend that John was talking about, Jewel, is the co-founder of Grizzly People and was also Timothy Treadwell's ex-girlfriend. And Werner Herzog just had this huge amount of licence. On one level, he was staging all this stuff. Did you notice that he stages a lot of stuff? It's like the camera's rolling now. Great, deliver the watch, which was his last possession, and it's still ticking. And the girlfriend goes, oh, it's still ticking. And so then they all look around because the scene's over, which is unusual to see that in what you might imagine is observational documentary.
But the grizzly didn't steal the watch.
The grizzly left the watch. I guess he didn't eat it because he must have eaten everything.
Oh, so there was a happy ending.
Yes, that's right. I thought he might have taken the watch and said,
No,
it's time.
No, the man only got eaten and killed.
All right. And
devastating his family and friends. But it's okay, the watch is okay.
But what Herzog does is he goes and he says he listens to the audio tape of the death, which is really full on, and he won't let Jules listen to it. He sits there and has his headphones on, much like we do, and he sits there and just like listens to the audio, and Jules looking up at him, and he says, "You can never," in his accent, "you can never watch this. It'll be like the white elephant in your room, throw it away," which is a full-on call for a filmmaker to make.
The thing is, even though the cameras were running when the bear ate him, it didn't capture vision of the bear. It's like the camera was pointing to
the noise
on the audio,
which is incredibly chilling.
and he won't he won't show up. He doesn't play it in the documentary, which is a real brave decision because it's obviously the most sensationalistic thing.
Yeah.
And for him, and to have this build up in the film where you don't get the payoff of hearing the bear eating him, is quite brave.
Now,
as
you
a
two
filmmaker.
have got a similar taste in films by the sound of it, because last time you were on, darling, didn't we talk about endless bodies being hacked to pieces in, what was that?
We
Was
did
that-
talk about it
didn't we?
a while ago, Africa Adio.
Wasn't it? For hours, and you both was actually...
I preferred Grizzly Man. I can handle a bear eating a man, but I can't handle a man eating a bear. And Africa Adios was a lot of cruelty to animals. For some reason, I can stand cruelty to people. For example, I could push you down the staircase later, nothing.
No, as you have. He has several times.
But if I, like, backed over a cat,
or
like
upset my dog.
it devastate me for weeks. Any final points?
Well, just like in terms of documentary, because Grizzly Man's going to screen around the country in November. It's on DVD, but it's screening at a Cinematheque, so you can go and see it in the cinema if you want. But there's another movie called My Best Fiend, or in German, Mein Liebster Fiend, Klaus Kinski, which is really like, which is about Herzog as a filmmaker who just kind of is determined to get exactly what he wants, and his key actor, who was in in Fitzcarraldo in 5 of his films, who is just a real loose cannon. And it's just kind of looking at their two kind of egomaniacs together and how they worked and fed off each other.
You pronounce that... You sure it's not Eroberung des Nutzolden? No, go on. Because your pronunciation was beautiful.
Why are you doing Latin mass
no,
in the middle of my
German.
show?
You were the one who were yelling German 2 weeks ago. Yes.
I just want to say one thing, okay, because in My Best Fiend they talk about Fitzcarraldo, which, like, there were so many problems. There was budget, there was a lack of co-financing, a lack of audience, the fact that it was shot in Peru, the fact that it went on for, like, 5 years.
Over mountains? What were we pushing?
A big boat.
A big boat?
Yep. It was about a guy who was an obsessed opera lover who wanted to build an opera in the jungle, a plan that involved hauling an enormous riverboat across a small mountain with aid from the local Indians. It's like Sisyphus, like pushing something up a mountain, literally. So in this movie, Klaus Kinski said was a huge problem, and he wanted to kill him. He threatened to kill him in the movie, Herzog, because Kinski had broken contracts 30 to 40 times before. So this is a really fun documentary to watch. If you want to get a sense of
Herzog. A person is
Herzog.
possibly going to be killed, not an animal, so I will see that one too.
Cool, all right.
And you're telling me that you want to throw this girl out? You're telling me The Wild Blue Yonder is coming.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen it, and I think it's been done.
I've embarrassed you now because neither of us know for sure whether the damn thing's out or not.
Well, somebody can write in or something. It's spliced together documentary footage from NASA and the National Science Foundation's Antarctic program. So it's like it's meant to be fiction and documentary together.
Yeah, all right. We better drop that. We better drop that.
Thank you, Kylie Boltin.
Thank you, John
Good luck
Safran.
for your
Thank you,
documentary.
Yeah, your documentary.
Yes,
Good luck.
Yes, Ramona, good luck.
This week?
Well, I'm shooting now. We're just waiting for the birth. It could be any day now.
That's nice.
So I better go.
Claire Bowditch. And the feeding set, she puts her reading list of what she was reading whilst recording the album.
What was she reading?
C.S. Lewis, A Grief Observed.
Oh.
Have you read that? That's very... I haven't read it all.
Yeah. C.S. Lewis I've done.
That's a very sad book, very melancholy. You can't read that and not cry. You probably could, you're heartless.
Yeah.
But I still have, you know.
Yeah. Do you? Tears in your eyes?
Well, you see, unlike you who just has, you see the dark underbelly, like you see all those drug addicts that
Yes,
come to you
and all
trying
of that.
to rip you off every day at your
Don't
church,
mention
right?
the war, yes.
So you've been beaten down, like you're quite
So I'm
angry.
now-
You're angry at the unfortunate, whilst I'm like naive.
So you've got feelings?
Yeah, I don't have like drug addicts trying to get money off me every day.
No.
Sorry, what was I talking about
What's
before
that
that?
got to do with you?
Also read Michael Lunig's Assorted Prayers and Poems.
Oh, yeah, she's from Violet Town.
Oscar Wilde, The Picture of Dorian Gray. Noam Chomsky, Fateful Triangle.
Your friend?
My friend.
You
Don't drag me
Oh,
into a
no,
political
you don't
discussion.
like Chomsky.
What? I told you not to drag me into an argument
I know.
about politics.
I know.
I neither like or not like him.
Yes. Go on, read more from Bowditch.
I like the film. Do you know no one's ever actually read a Noam Chomsky book ever? Like, all the way through.
No, we read
They've done
bits in the
research.
Guardian.
They've done research.
And we read
like,
the Guardian.
people buy it, right? But then they see, like, the doco, and they've seen the doco, and that's...
And that's as close
There
as
was
they
once
get.
there was once a thin book he put out after 9/11 that was only about 89 pages.
Yeah.
And one person read that once on a tram.
That was all, eh?
And that's it.
Jeez.
And, so there you go, Religious Song of the Week. And also, can you sing a copyright-free song now for the podcast
like
people?
what?
Just some liturgical thing.
I can only... No, I'm not going to sing. What do you think I'm, a parrot or some bloody thing? I mean, we sing a dirge at the end of this show for what we've been through. Or do you want to... there's a lovely thing called Te Deum, which they sing, thank God, at the end of something glorious battle or football match between the Eagles and Collingwood, which happened today, and which I won't tell you who won today because I don't want to upset people with the time lag. Righto, well, that's the end of that show, isn't it?
Father Bob, drug giant forks out $65,000 on posh nosh for doctors.
Yes.
Roche have been accused of breaching the pharmaceutical industry's code of conduct by providing lavish meals to doctors at several of Australia's top restaurants.
Yep.
The
Former online games addict Tim said he rarely left his room for 5 years.
Why can't doctors get free stuff? Why are we at Triple J? I could always get sent free CDs. I didn't fork out any money for this Claire Bowditch.
And why don't doctors get free food to feed to their salespersons or their clients?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's all too much to expect everybody to get everything for free, because otherwise, John Safran, there would be no world in which we live.
Don't even mention my name.
Well, who will you be?
Just say you.
You.
I feel very vulnerable after
Very
a half
vulnerable.
hour of
You'll be
Andrew
all
Bolt.
right. You'll be all right.
Will you hug me after the show?
Sunday night, no hugs. They've got a special hug room here in the ABC. Didn't you know that?
You'd be really uncomfortable if I went to hug you.
I don't like all of that.
I'm going to go hug you.
No, we're Scottish.
No, I'm going to go hug
get
you.
away.
I'm going to go hug you.
Call the police.
Go hug.
Oh, God, have mercy on me. I got nowhere to put my hands.
You were freaking out. You've never hugged anyone in your life, have you?
Oh, I don't remember. My mother never hugged me.
If your mother didn't hug you, no one else has.
I don't think so, because they died early, you see what I mean. Don't mention the war. It's all right. So what are we going to do this week, Jono? Have you got anything coming up?
No.
Nothing?
No.
So this is a totally nihilistic week.
Nihilistic.
Nihilistic. Nihil, is it? You're not going to go to the movies?
No.
You're not going to go... I might go to Brisbane, I think.
When are you going to go to Scotland?
Oh, I don't know, next year. Next year.
Notice you've never, like when you're running me down, you've never brought that up. That's never come up in conversation, ever, has it? Oh,
no.
Oh, by the way, John Safran's production company bought you a ticket to Scotland. No, don't mention that.
It was sprung on me very quickly, and I haven't got over the shock. You see? How'd you like to be going for the first time back to the place where your father was thrown out of in 1922? How would you like that? You wouldn't like that. No. That would be my denouement. Anyway, don't forget the blog page, fatherbob.com.
.au, you got to do .au because people
sure?
complained. People complained because if you go to fatherbob.com, apparently it's like a sex site.
Get away!
Seriously, there was people on the guest book that said, "Bob, under your recommendations, I went to fatherbob.com and I saw scantily clad ladies."
Sacred Heart.
Make sure you put .au at the end of it.
Truly.
That's
all right. Well, I've apologised to all those, and anybody who sinned as a result of it, I will give them a general absolution, and their sins are forgiven. But fatherbob.com.au, and listen to the podcast as well on that show.
Thank you, Father Bob.
Thank you, Jono, Carolyn, and everybody else.
Bye-bye.
Triple J.